Haven't had a chance to vote yet. How about you?
I'm going to go right after the show and vote.
Same here. Yep.
So because of the big delegate prize up for grabs in Pennsylvania, Democratic friendly fashions and more from a great boutique right here in Pittsburgh. And we're talking about friendly, lower cost divorces with a new trend called collaborative law. Now, it might not be for everyone, but in the right cases, it can save you money and a lot of heartache. But first, as every voter knows by now, politicians are doing everything they can to get the votes out, and that means spending for political ads is at an all-time high right now.
Yeah, it sure is, and of course that's good news for us here in the television business. Joining us this election day is Dr. Audrey Guskey of Duquesne University to talk about the effect of political ads on voters and on the local economy.
Good morning.
Audrey, how are you?
Always good to see you, John.
You too. And
Hi, Christine.
Hello.
I just mentioned to Christine that, you know, it's great for us every 4 years we get this influx of cash that is here in the television business.
It really is great. And, you know, this is the primaries. And typically in Pennsylvania, we don't have this excitement because by now everything's done.
Right.
And so in a sense, it's newfound money. And if you look at Pennsylvania, Obama alone has spent $9 million, which is huge. And Hillary has about half of that.
On advertising in this state?
Yes.
Amazing.
Total, he's spending $60 billion. It's almost double what's been spent before. This is a scary thought. If you took all the ads that have been created for the presidential campaign, it would take 15 days to watch them. That's how many Obama alone has created. He has put on air 100,000 ads. Now, put that in perspective. John Kerry only put out 19,000 ads. It's huge. So you think every ad that you're seeing is political? Yes, it is. It is. It is huge.
Well, and I guess he had to because everybody's so familiar with Hillary and the Clinton brand or name.
Right.
You know, who's Obama? And if you didn't know him, this is your first introduction, these commercials.
Exactly. And basically, every penny that he's pulling in, he's like immediately putting it into media, particularly TV. And the beautiful part about political advertising, it's mainly local because you're going primary to primary. And so as we've said in the Pennsylvania area, $9 million by Obama and at least $4.5 million for Hillary. So you're looking at about $15 million that's been spent in the Pennsylvania area that typically would not be spent. So that is nice revenue. And as a result, what tends to happen is the prices of ads go up because you have limited supply and demand. So it's good news for all of us in the Pennsylvania economy. It's been very good.
I was going to say that really it does boost the economy overall.
Yeah, that's a positive thing. And, you know, when you're looking at the actual presidential campaign coming up soon, then we're also going to be having some additional money coming in.
So
but
this isn't the end of it.
Exactly. But if you look at the ads, what we found is there's been a lot of negative ads. Mudslinging, you know,
And especially in some of these local races, it's gotten pretty ugly.
Yeah, very ugly. And the question is always, do these work?
How effective is that?
Well, nobody knows. The results are very inconclusive.
How can we not know by this point, Audrey? It seems like after all these years, they either work or they don't, and research should show that.
You would think, John. Some of them show that they work and some of them they don't. Bottom line is they're still using them, so they must be working. They're at least doing something. They're maybe changing the minds of some voters who haven't decided, or people who are very strongly for one candidate. If they see negative ads for their candidate, they get riled up and get excited. So there's a lot more energy and motivation and just emotions running through. And so I think that tends to get people riled up. We've been using them, we've been seeing them the past 25 years, and they just keep escalating. I don't know if you remember the Daisy Girl during the Lyndon Baines Johnson. That was sort of the start of everything.
Yeah,
and that's
like the end of the world, you know, the bomb.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have obviously made up their minds by today, but some people may not have. Who is really affected by these ads?
These ads would be most effective for the people who are undecided, who haven't, you know, it's hard to believe that people don't know at this point, but there are still some people. And so it will affect them as well. And as I said, the very strong supporters of a candidate will affect them as well.
To get them to go out and actually make sure they
and to get them just to, not just to vote, but to get their friends to vote and talk to other people, maybe drive people to the polls and those types of things.
Who do you think's done the best job, Hillary or Obama? And then how about McCain? You know, it occurred to me, do we even need to go to the polls and vote? If you're a Republican, you only got one guy. I mean, Huckabee's out, everybody's dropped except, well, Ron Paul. That's true, Ron Paul.
And of course the local elections.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right.
And my advice to everyone out there is go and vote. As a Republican, you need to show your support for your candidate as well, and just, you know, show that you're a strong American in that voting, and it's your responsibility to do that. As far as campaigns, who's done it right? Well, I don't know if I would say either of them because they both have been so very negative. Obama, because he's put so much money into it, and his campaigns are sometimes tugging at the heart. So I would say I'd probably give him a little bit of a lead as far as the actual quality of the ads. He's put more on prime time too, and so that's
And
been
he's
good
got
for
more
him.
money to do it.
He has
Yeah.
more money to do it, yes,
Yeah.
and he spent it all here.
And we do appreciate it.
Thank
We are
you,
happy, yes.
Audrey.
Thank you.
Dr. Audrey Gusky of Duquesne University's Marketing Department, as always, enlightening and enjoyable. Thanks so much. Still ahead, folks, this hour.